Yeah, what is going on, everybody? Welcome in. Thanks for joining us here at Alarm Fantasy Football. I'm Howard Bender, Andrew Cooper by my side, and this is the #1 fantasy football show to get all of your NFL and fantasy football questions answered. Start sits, trades, waiver wire. It is Wednesday. We are at the midweek point here in between just getting ahead of week 6. We got Thursday night football tomorrow. So Coop and I, we are busy campers here. What's going on, Coop? How are you? You got all the rankings out. What's new in your world here? What's popping for you here in week 6?
Yeah, we handled waivers expertly as always. Target report coming out shortly. Very interesting stuff in there as always, keeping us on pace and updated. And of course, the big news. Rankings are up, of course. That's important as well. But the big news, of course, and why I'm wearing my Patriots gear proudly. Drake
You're so
May
lame.
is here.
I'm
Drake
sorry.
May
I'm
is
sorry.
here to
People in
save
the
the
chat.
Drake May has
People in the
arrived
chat.
to
Could
save
Coop be any more lame
Drake,
promoting Drake
Drake
May and the
May
New England Patriots?
has arrived to save the Patriots franchise just in time. People were asking, they were like, is this team still a playoff team with Hey, you know what? In fantasy football, we look for these catalysts. We'll see what happens. Hey, maybe they shake up a little Jalen Polk, huh? Maybe Hunter Henry gets a couple run and gun catches out there. You never know, Howard. So it's interesting. Mobile quarterback hitting the scene. It's probably going to be ugly. What do you think about them starting them against the Texans? I got to honestly ask. They could have waited, starting them against the Jags in London. They could have started them at home against the Jets. They're going with the Texans this week. What's up with that?
I mean, listen, I think that it's a terrible team, Coop. It's a terrible team. And, like you guys can try and grind everybody down to a halt because that's the strategy, right? That's what, Gerard Mayo is probably like, you know what, let's try and drag everybody down into the cesspool level that we're playing. Is Drake May going to be better than Jacoby Brissett? I don't know. I mean, Jacoby Brissett is pretty vanilla, right? He's pretty mediocre. He's just somebody who's going to, get in there and just kind of run the offense. But is Drake May ready to take the offense to another level? Are the receivers, are the pass catchers ready to go or able to go to another level right now? Do you genuinely and I mean genuinely, I mean, you could take because listen, I went off on the Jets yesterday, went off on them because I know how to fairly assess what's going on my team. Put the hype away. Look at guys like Jalen Polk, like Demario Douglas, like Hunter Henry, and truly what your offensive line looks like in front of Drake May. Is the switch at quarterback genuinely going to boost fantasy football value for any of these guys?
Now, honestly, and dead serious here, I don't think that it's going to boost the overall team vertically, but what can happen from time to time in these situations is a reshuffling, a horizontal shift, right? And what the coach talked about is a new run and gun playbook here, right? So what you have right now is not a lot of production, not a lot of targets so far, right? If you can focus that production on one spot, right? Like let's say, because right now you got Demario Douglas getting all these targets, Antonio Gibson. If you can focus it towards a couple people, then you might be able to get one fantasy relevant asset out of it. Drake May, if he runs a decent amount, then in your super flex leagues or whatever, you can start him. QB1 upside is, it's unrealistic unless he's running 6+ times a game. Right. Which, with behind this line would be very difficult. But if it can be focused on one guy, say one guy's getting 6, 7, 8 targets, especially if that's Hunter Henry and he has tight end eligibility, you might be able to get something out of it. But no, realistically speaking, this isn't a situation like CJ Stroud showing up and they have Nico Collins and they have Tank Dell and they have Laramie Tunsil and the offensive line is pretty good. Or even, honestly, Jaden Daniels, where the Commanders, they have McLaurin. The line's not great, but I mean, he looks incredible. The thing is, though, if your line is bad, having a quarterback that can move the pocket and have some evasiveness at least offers a little bit of glimmer hope, Howard. That's all we're looking for here. And again, hold these guys for maybe 1 or 2 games, see what it looks like, and We might end up dropping, but those guys are free right now. Henry, Polk, May, all of them.
Get Toronto Dave's message off of that freaking cover. What's wrong with you?
I was going to see how long it would take for you to dress it. He's got the hunter in the hen house too. He knows how to get me fired.
I mean, listen, I'll tell you what. I mean, we know what the offense that Alex Van Pelt wants to run. If Drake May can run this offense, yes, it does put Hunter Henry into a better spot. I look at guys like Jalen Polk and I look at guys like Demario Douglas, and maybe if the matchup is really right, you can kind of look at it for DFS purposes. But I mean, are these really guys that you think are worthy of like even a roster spot? Like, I'll tell you what, because we were talking about waivers, running last night, and we'll talk about a couple of guys that we ended up picking up. One of the guys who I did pick up this week was Ty Chandler. I don't really have a lot of interest in Ty Chandler, but hearing that Aaron Jones is week to week now and they're on a bye, I stashed him. Ty Chandler, to me, is worthy of that stash spot. Is a guy like Polk or Douglas, are either of those guys really worth Kendrick Bourne even? Let's talk about the fact that Kendrick Bourne just got, brought back from IR, and we know what kind of a receiver that he is usually, and this might fit in Alex Van Pelt's system, relatively good. Are you even using a roster spot to stash these guys?
Yeah, no, you gotta think about, again, maybe in the Scott Fish Bowl for some of these guys where it's everybody's rostered, but you got to think about what it takes for some of these player types to hit relevance, right? Look at Demario Douglas. For a guy like that, that's kind of a part-time slot guy, super low A dot, not really going to break off big plays. He needs to get peppered with targets the way Wan'Dale Robinson and Josh Downs with Joe Flacco. I just don't see it for him. The only guys really for me, it's Jalen Polk playing a 100% snap share, 100% route participation this week as the potential number one guy that actually runs intermediate routes. And again, this week, if you watch that game, which, very few people did, he had a touchdown catch where it was the notorious, got the toe down, but then the heel fell on the line. So it's not a catch, but I mean, very close to having a touchdown there, very close to having a big catch against the 49ers. Those guys are interesting. And of course, if you have currently a very boring tight end as your starter and you just want some sort of upside, that's when I throw a Hunter Henry on the bench. If you have George Kittle or Kyle Pitts or Jake Ferguson, you don't have the roster spots to have two tight ends. You already have your tight end, you're set. If you're starting somebody like Zach Ertz or Tyler Conklin or, like any of these boring guys that really are just not going to take off and set the world on fire, you might as well give yourself a shot with a bench spot. But again, you have to have that spot. So I'm with you, Howard. It's got to be certain types of situations in deeper leagues.
Okay. Anybody that you grabbed off waivers of any kind of like notoriety? I added Josh Downs and Jalen Tolbert just as like, some fringe pieces. And like I said, stashing Ty Chandler. Is there anybody that you went after that maybe people might want to pay attention to?
Yeah, I did grab Drake May in a deep league, but again, it's very deep. Like he needs to come out and run 9 times this week. He did run on 60 snaps in the preseason. He ran 7 times, and on his one drive, he ran twice. So we know he's at least willing to. But again, we got to see what that looks like.
I want to know who your quarterback's in that league.
In the league
is it a super flex league that you added Drake May?
No, in the league where I added Drake May, I have Tua in an IR spot, and I've been rolling out Geno Smith, and it's got a lot of bench spots. So in that league, I'm just. Yeah, like that league, I'm like, okay, let's see if we can find some upside. But like, yeah, in most leagues, he's still on the wire. I mean, you just gotta recognize. I've seen Daniel Jones throw 15 touchdown passes, and he runs a 4.8 40, but he was willing to run, so he was a QB1 in fantasy. Right? Real ads. Let me just throw my real ads out. I did add Tank Bigsby in a league. I did add Tyrone Tracy in a league. Mm-hmm. And I did add Jalen Tolbert in a league. Those were the 3 moves I actually spent fab on. And then, this morning I woke up and who's out there? There's a defense here, kicker there. So I did do some of those. Yeah. The sleepy eye moves in the morning.
I'm like pulling crusties out. One league, actually, I saw we got short benches, right? And somebody dropped Kareem Hunt.
Oh,
we only have 3 bench spots available.
Oh no, baby. What is you doing?
Well, that's why I was like, just immediately put in a waiver claim, and we'll hopefully see what happens there on Friday. All right, let's get to some stuff in the chat, because obviously this show here is for all of you guys. So pop your questions into chat, whether you're watching us on Twitch, on Facebook, whether you're watching us on Twitter, you're watching us here on YouTube. Do me a favor, always obviously try and click over to YouTube and just kind of hit that like button for us. It's just a nice little free way of saying we appreciate you, and that makes us feel good. So let's go to the chat, because this one's for them here, and I'm actually looking on the YouTube channel, not here in the restream, because we had some early birds.
Good.
Ready to get that worm. And we'll start with Mojo here, who says, should I start Jaden Daniels or Kirk Cousins this week? Nervous that Baltimore defense containing Jaden Daniels this week. This is for a standard league. Well, all right, standard versus PPR doesn't matter when you're talking quarterbacks.
Right.
Does not matter. So he just says Cousins eat up the Panthers defense. Where are you going with this one?
Yeah, to truly get a Cousins game like that, you need pushback. That's the problem. Kirk Cousins sometimes could dig that hole for himself early on, and then he's having a little shootout against himself, like we used to see with the Vikings. But he really needs you don't get to 500 yards unless the other team is pushing back. So for me, Jaden Daniels is must start. I mean, there's a world where Jaden Daniels is ranked QB1. I wouldn't, if somebody came to me and said Jaden Daniels ranked QB1 this week, I wouldn't doubt them. I have Lamar Jackson ranked QB1, but Jaden Daniels, I mean, the way he's playing and the amount of running he's doing, I mean, he's leading the league in rushing yards and rushing attempts for quarterbacks. I mean, you just have to start him every week. Have to start him.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those ride the wave until it breaks sort of a thing.
Right.
We just saw Joe Burrow throw for 5 touchdown passes against this Ravens defense. I'm not saying Jaden Daniels is Joe Burrow, but there's definitely a strong element there, and you're gonna have to respect that. So I'm in that run here. Let's see. Eric is upset about Nico. Why? Because the fantasy gods hate us.
Of course. Yeah.
But apparently AJ Brown is coming back to his roster fairly soon. And done in the house with the early bird question. Need 2 in a PPR here, Coop. Rashad White, Javonte Williams, Jameson Williams, Tank Dell.
Need 2 of those guys, huh? I really do not like the matchup this week for Javonte, to be honest, against the Chargers. They've been kind of rough, and they slow the game down. There's, like you mentioned with the Patriots, there's a couple teams that are just black holes for fantasy because the offense slows it down. The defense isn't bad, and the special teams is fine. So it's like Chargers are one of those teams. You got to start Jameson Williams, and honestly, with Nico Collins on the IR, Tank Dell's got to step up. So I'm going JMO and Dell here.
Couple of little fun facts here that I rustled up here about Tank Dell. Obviously, Nico Collins' injury puts Tank Dell on the field more. Yes, Xavier Hutchinson's snap count jumped up as well, but they're also adjusting their game plan. Pats allow the 8th most passing yards per game. It is a pass funnel defense, and the Pats run more zone coverage than they do man coverage, and Dell has a higher target rate when they're facing stronger zone coverage. Not to mention the fact that we don't know about Kyle Duggar or Jabril Peppers. Both of those guys could be out this week. So
news broke right before the show that they put Jabril on the commissioner's exempt list. So he is
there you go.
Yeah,
that's a big loss in that secondary. So JMO and Tank Dell, and that's where we're leaning here. Joshua Latshaw says he grabbed Ayuk off waivers when he was rage dropped last week. I love that. Way to always pay attention to who gets dropped.
Yes.
Because you find some unbelievable guys there. Full PPR, need 1 wide receiver and a flex, Coop. It's Ayuk, Deontay Johnson, Josh Jacobs, Darnell Mooney, Rashid Shaheed.
Man, that team is a wagon. I'm going to go Ayuk versus Seattle. Keep an eye on Tariq Woolen, but he has not practiced yet this week, and we are running out of days. That game is tomorrow, baby. So Tariq Woolen could be out here. He got carted off last game. So even then, I think I might just go Ayuk because it's kind of hard to trust Deontay Johnson. Shaheed, my sweet baby. I mean, with Spencer Rattler, that's a totally different game.
Oh, come on, the Rattler.
Yeah, you're not rattled.
I've got a couple of shares of him in some deep best balls.
Yeah. Mooney, my dad actually really likes Spencer Rattler. He wanted him on the Patriots. So we'll have to see. It's Rattler versus May week. Let's see what happens.
Dun, 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 dun.
The matchup everyone's been waiting for. Mooney has been great, but I think I would just go Jacobs against Arizona. You can run on Arizona.
You can run on Arizona, no doubt. No doubt. All right. Eric says start 2 here, please. Half point PPR. Zay Flowers, Deontay Johnson, or Brian Robinson Jr.
Zay Flowers, Deontay
He also
Johnson.
said he loves listening to us on here and on Sirius. I'm sure you mean me and not Coop, but appreciate that, Eric.
Come on. People like listening to me sometimes, every once in a while. Here we go. I think in half, you got to start Brian Robinson the way he's playing recently, even against the Ravens. Against the Ravens, he's been finding the end zone in half PPR. That's what's up. And I think I go Flowers just because he had the down week on the big crazy running week against the Bills, but he is the top target. He's on pace for well over 100. So I'm going there. Deontay,
don't forget the Benjamin St. Juiced factor.
That's right, dude. Wheels up.
Ooh,
get juiced up.
All right, now we're back to being able to flash some questions here. Rod Elliott in the house, PPR. Need 2 out of these 3, Coop. Amari Cooper, Jordan Mason, Breece Hall. Oh, my God.
That hurts, man. You got to start Jordan Mason, 100%. And Amari Cooper has been one of the least efficient wide receivers with his targets, bar none. I know. The face sucker, man. Well, even though the aliens have Howard, I'm still going to go Breece Hall. If Amari Cooper and Breece Hall are both going to be bad, at least give me the guy that gets handoffs. Because Amari Cooper's not catching any of these targets, man. He's not putting it together.
I agree.
You back, Karen? You've survived?
I agree. It just hurts so much. Yeah. You're all filled with Drake May hope, and I'm in Aaron Rodgers hell right now.
Don't worry. We're about to get rug pulled real hard against the Texans this week.
Fatty McFats needs 3 out of 4. 0-5, Fatty? Come on.
Heck?
Bubba, let's fix this, right? Need 3 out of these 4. Godwin, DK Metcalf, Jordan, Jaden Reed, or DJ Moore. So who sits out of this crew?
How is this team 0-5? Chris Godwin is the wide receiver 6 on the season. He's playing.
Metcalf's a top receiver.
DK Metcalf. I mean, so is DJ Moore, though. I mean, honestly, Jaden Reed has such a good matchup this week. Mm-hmm. So we usually on this show, we get into some matchups we love. I'll tell you this, Jaden Reed is one of mine because you go over and look at DVOA and they actually break it down by wide receiver. And the wide receiver 3 is usually the slot wide receiver. The Cardinals have been missing their main cover guy against the slot. He was out last week, expected to be out again this week. Jaden Reed is in a smash spot again. So I don't know, Howard. Like, do you sit DJ Moore? He also has a great matchup. DJ Moore is going up against
Jacksonville.
So you might have to say, but Chris Godwin always crushes when Mike Evans faces Marshawn Lattimore.
Yep.
Dude, you might have to sit DK Metcalf against the 49ers. I don't know.
You know what?
Those guys are all like top 12 options this week.
I'm gonna throw out the fact that this is the first time that Caleb Williams is going to London to play. Jags know London. They know they're not affected anymore really by that whole aspect. They go multiple times. I'm gonna sit DJ Moore out of this crew.
Yeah, Fatty, I'll tell you this. When you're 0-5 and you have one of those guys on your bench, you got to make a trade. Trade for a running back, trade for anything.
Yeah, dude, package up Reed and DJ Moore and send it for CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, do whatever you can to make your lineup better for this week.
Yeah.
Also, look at next week, right? Like, of those guys, next week you're going to have, let's see, there you go. DJ Moore goes on bye next week. You can't lose any more games. So, like, if you're going to have DJ Moore not play next week and maybe not even be in your lineup, time to trade DJ Moore and just win right now.
Trade him. Love it. All right. Sean 10. Pick 1. PPR. Dowdle, Downs, Bigsby, Bucky.
Just one, huh? I mean, in full PPR, how do you go away from Josh Downs right now? he's been getting peppered with targets. Even though he missed 2 games to start the year, he's on pace for like 125 targets.
We don't know if it's Flacco or Richardson this week, do we?
If it's Richardson, that would move the needle. Like if it's Flacco with Downs, that's a done deal for me. I mean, Rico Dowdle looked honestly pretty decent, even against Pittsburgh last week.
It's a tough matchup against Detroit this week for Dowdle, but Dowdle actually has the majority of touches in that offense now. Like they're phasing out Zeke. Doesn't sound like Dalvin Cook is anywhere near coming and playing. So I would say, yeah, if it's Flacco under center, I'm definitely going with Downs. If it's not, then I'm going to go with Rico Dowdle and just, it's a shitty matchup, but at least he's got the bulk of the work. Bigsby and Bucky can't say that about either.
Yeah, with Tank and Bucky, where I want to have them on my team, and we're waiting for that moment, like we got with Kyron Williams last year, where Sean McVay came out and he was like, "Hey, Kyron Williams is starting running back for this team, moving forward." Right? Like he came out and was like, anybody that had any questions about whether Cam Akers or whoever is going to come back or somebody else is going to take over, Kyron Williams is starting. Like he straight up told us that. At a certain point, coaches are willing to be like, "Hey, you know what? Tank's been playing great. He's the starter. Bucky's been playing great. He's the starter." Like we're waiting for that moment, and then it wheels up.
Yeah. Sean also wants to know, somebody dropped Mark Andrews. He's already got Kelsey and Hawkinson. No, I would not use my number one waiver priority here. You do have to get yourself a tight end for the week, though.
Yes, you do.
Andrews is not that guy.
No,
not with the number one waiver priority, but yeah.
The killer for Andrews, like we could continue to make excuses for Andrews if he led that team in routes run. Charlie Kohler only ran 6 routes, but like Isaiah Likely ran more routes than Mark Andrews. I mean, what's the excuse? I keep hearing Mark Andrews say he's fine, and John Harbaugh says he's fine. He's going to have big games, but they're not even putting him in a position to do that. So, I mean, at this stage, he's not. He doesn't need to be held.
Nope. Rod Elliott, Olave, Kirk, or Sutton, full point PPR. So Olave's got the quarterback issue. I think Kirk going up against the Bears is probably where I'm going here.
I think so as well. Let's say Evan Ingram has no injury designation. Would that change anything for you?
I mean, if it's Spencer Rattler, I mean, maybe.
I was actually leaning towards the Sutton side.
Towards Sutton, really?
Versus the Raiders.
No, he's going up
against the
Chargers.
The Chargers. Oh yeah,
that's a tough secondary.
Yeah, go Christian Kirk.
Yeah, Christian Kirk and Christian Kirk.
Mm-hmm. Crazy. The best laid plans of mice and men, because we believe in the talent for Olave, Kirk, and Sutton. It's just, dude, talent isn't everything. Opportunity is also a big part of this game.
Jerry, worrying about Jordan Mason, doesn't know what to do. Just keep playing him.
Start him every week.
Just
what's the
keep
problem?
playing him. And I mean, listen, I get it. Everybody wants to try and trade and get value and stuff like that. But the problem is that unless you're in a league with completely uninformed idiots, everybody is waiting for Christian McCaffrey to come back. So why not just use Jordan Mason right now and then just park him on the bench for like 2 weeks if McCaffrey comes back? Because you don't know if McCaffrey's going to re-injure himself. That's definitely a possibility here. And, there's also the possibility that he doesn't even come back. But when you're trying to trade this guy off and we say, I mean, he's a no-brainer, lock him in starter every single week. If you're trading him away, nobody's going to want to give you full value for him because they're like, well, I'm going to lose him. Like, unless you're dealing with somebody who is in major bye week hell, and take a look at that. I mean, who do we got on the bye this week? So Kyron Williams, Kareem Hunt, Devon Achane, and Raheem Mostert, Aaron Jones. Go look at those teams right now and see who they're going to be using as a running back. And if they've got like somebody who's like legit, then maybe, float that offer.
Yeah. Also, I just want to talk one thing that is rarely talked about in terms of like fantasy football game theory is know your playoff situation for your league. I have a lot of different leagues. One of my leagues, Howard, 8 teams make the playoffs. So every year in that league, all I do is focus on building a team for the playoffs. In a lot of my other leagues, some of those leagues only 4 teams make it. Some of those leagues, there's bye weeks. And if you can just keep winning now with Jordan Mason, there's nothing more valuable than not having to play a playoff game. You know how random this stupid game is at times? Having to play one fewer elimination playoff game is the most valuable thing. So if you can just keep winning right now, if you're undefeated right now, some people are like, oh, I got to blow up my team and focus on playoffs. How about just making it so you have to play one fewer playoff game in your fantasy football? That is enormous. So just keep steamrolling if you're steamrolling, if you have Jordan Mason.
There you go. Rod also is a super flex. Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff, or the Richardson Flacco duo?
Well, we have an incredible slate this week for shootout potential, right? So you got to start Goff in that game against the Cowboys. The over-under is like, what, 52 in that game?
It's 52.5, but let me ask you this one here. Dallas can't stop the run.
Right.
For whatever inane reason, the Steelers just refuse to give like heavy volume to Najee Harris. I thought that was just a stupid move. Mm-hmm. Dan Campbell is not that guy. Dan Campbell is Montgomery Gibbs, Montgomery Gibbs, Montgomery Gibbs, Gibbs, Montgomery Gibbs, Montgomery. Like he will hammer the run. And if Dallas can't stop the run, who's to say that Jared Goff even needs to be slinging the rock that much?
But does it get to the point where you start Flacco against Tennessee?
That's probably not a great one there. I was actually kind of leaning more towards the Trevor Lawrence situation.
Oh, it's
going up against Chicago.
So when he said super flex, my assumption that was we were benching 2 of these guys. So it's only one of these guys that he's got to start?
I don't know.
If it's only one of them, then start Trevor Lawrence. If it's 2 of them, I'm going Lawrence and Goff.
That I agree with 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe that was a misconception. When he said super flex, I'm like, oh. But he does say only or there instead of 2 of them.
He does. Yeah. I'm just saying. Nope. Either way, here we go. What's next? Rod also says, Henry, Barkley, Mason, Brees, sit one, please. Well, I mean,
Brees Hall.
Yeah, you got to sit Brees Hall in this one.
As crazy as it is, that's not even that hard. Those guys, those Barkley and Henry are must. Yeah.
Rod, thank you so much for asking all the questions that hurt me. I appreciate that, man. I'll remember that the next time you light me up on Facebook being like, hey, can I ask you a question? And then I can say, no, because you hurt my feelings.
Howard, Rod's got another question here just for you. Drake May or Spencer Rattler this week?
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Coop, Will Hayes wants to know, would you trade Jalen Waddle and Spears for Pitts and Tank Dell?
Yeah, I would. I would because, Jalen Waddle, honestly, even when Tua was healthy, was not a necessarily must start the way he was looking. And Spears is, getting less than half the work. I like the possibility of Kyle Pitts being great. And Tank Dell now, we don't know. They Nico Collins, 4 games minimum. Tank Dell, he's got explosive upside. I think I would take the Pitts and Dell side.
I would.
So much more upside over there. Yeah.
Yep. Agreed. All right. Here we go. Sean 10 again. Would you trade Mike Evans, Rico Dowdle, and Freiermuth for Montgomery and Dallas Goedert?
No. Nope. As much as I like Montgomery, Dallas Goedert was great while A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith are out. Yeah. And then now they're back. And he goes back to being the third fiddle. I stick with what you got.
I agree. Concur. Oh, here we go. Millie Mills. He dropped Tank Dell last week. Now he's the wide receiver too. Uh-oh. I'm good at wide receiver, though he was a flex option at best. But I did get Juju off waivers. All right, you know what? I'm okay with adding Juju.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. But this is one of those reasons why, you don't drop good players. Just if you have to, you have to. But people sit there and they constantly churn over the back end of their roster, and you do see things like, dropping Tank. But
remember why you rostered these guys in the first place.
Exactly. Exactly. Boston Rebels. Somebody from this is from your neck of the woods. Hey guys, trade away Debo Samuel and Chase Brown for Jordan Mason and Drake May. No, I'm just kidding. Trade
Just
away
for Jordan
Debo
Mason.
and Brown for Mason.
No.
Debo's his flex play. Chase on the bench.
And then you start Mason.
Mason goes into his flex for Debo.
I would just start Debo. I mean, Debo's a great player. Like he's going to get carries. He's going to have a couple down games, of course, when the carries don't break like last week. But he's got big games coming. And again, this guy's doing exactly what we advise. If you can trade Mason for somebody who's going to be in your lineup for the rest of the year, which Debo is, and he also is getting an upside throw in with Chase Brown. I mean, I think that guy's trying to do the right thing. Don't give it to him.
All right. Wondering where everybody is. Well, Josh is sitting on a beach in Ocean City, Maryland, drinking a beer, watching the waves, hanging out with the family. We appreciate that very much. A, what are you drinking? And B, have you ever heard of Secrets? I think it's down near Ocean City. It's a place that SiriusXM producer Phil Backert likes to go. It's like a bunch of like bar tables that are in the water.
Oh.
So obviously the water in there is just riddled with like pee and jizz.
Probably not the second one, dude.
Probably not. Are you kidding, man? Dude, I've been to places. I've had sex in public pools before.
I mean, so it's that kind of place then. I thought you were talking about like a beachside joint, dude. Well, then, yeah.
Did you say smoke a joint in a beachside place? All right, we can do that too.
I wouldn't even know, dude. I've heard of these vacation things, but
Jared Reeves wants to know, should I drop one of Sutton Downs or Tolbert to pick up Bucky? I mean, if you need.
Yeah. If those guys are all on your bench and they're not even close to your lineup, I would probably still hold on to Sutton and Downs. But Tolbert and Bucky are kind of interchangeable. Tolbert might only be producing for 3 weeks or so here. And they still got Jake Ferguson. So,
yeah. There it is. Jerry said, Bender and the GM yesterday was great. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you, Jerry. I had quite the number of rants, Coop. Quite the number of rants.
You've been on fire this week, dude.
Been brutal. It's been brutal. What do we got here? I got going against Houston D isn't the ideal debut start for a rookie QB, though. Oh, yeah. We're back on the Drake May stuff here, huh?
But starting after a international overseas flight isn't great either, and and starting against the Jets defense the week after isn't great. I mean, there's not a lot of great options, honestly.
I don't know who Smitty is. Maybe that's somebody that you know. Call you Smitty. Well, we're back on. It's the same question here. Whoop. Don't need that. Oh, what we do need is a little Auntie Coop.
Auntie Coop.
Auntie Coopy in here.
Drake. She's talking Drake May talk. We're actually behind on these questions. We got to rock and roll. But yeah, young and hungry. Drake May, ready to rock and roll.
Young and
ready to light the world on fire.
Why do I keep seeing these same questions over and over? Folks, you only need to pop them into the chat once.
We'll get them.
Just once. Let's see. My opponent, says Eric, has James Cook. He didn't practice today. Ty Johnson is on the waiver wire. Should I pick him up? I mean, who are you dropping?
Yeah, always. Yeah, got to know who you're dropping. The thing is, I only pick guys up like that if I'm going to start them for this particular week while Cook is out. And I don't know. I think Ray Davis probably gets a look on the early downs, and Ty Johnson is now the pass down back for a guy that doesn't like passing it to the running backs. So I don't know if I really love Ty Johnson. I've seen quite a bit of Ty Johnson, honestly, on many teams, and looks about the same every time. It's like a bad Theo Riddick.
Evan Gittleman in the house got offered Michael Pittman and Tajay Spears for Devonta Smith. He's also got Pollard. Is it worth giving up Smith for essentially Pittman and Pollard's handcuff?
I mean, Pittman was bad with Anthony Richardson, and we expect Flacco to go back in the bottle. I think I just hang on to Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith is very good.
Agreed. Let's see. Gigi Baby 99. Should I start?
That's Twitch Gang.
Oh, is this the Twitch Gang?
Gigi Baby with the Twitch glasses for the Twitch Gang. Good game, baby. All right. Should I start Purdy or Hurts this
Do
week?
a little Stevie Wonder while you're answering this question.
I'm starting Hurts. I mean, he's got AJ Brown and Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert back. That's all I need. That's all I need in this world, dude. Hurts with his full lineup and that tush push, it still works. They used it before the bye, right before halftime. Touchdown. Right? There you go. All right, come back to us, our Twitch gang. We're back in the.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, though, before we jump back into these questions, we always appreciate you guys joining us here. So we like to give back to the community a little bit. And what better way to give back to the community than in the form of money? Underdog Fantasy is where you need to be playing your pick'em contest. And since GG Baby 99 just asked us about Brock Purdy, let's give some underdog picks for Thursday Night Football. San Francisco, Seattle. I've got a betting article written there over at fantasyalarm.com. You can take a look at that. Oh, Coop throwing up. Coop already throwing up the promo code here. So when you sign up over at Underdog, so this promo code, or go to fantasyalarm.com/underdog, right? And sign up there. Promo code ALARM gets you a 50% match deposit up to $1,000 in bonus cash. All right. And then you also get like a gimme pick. Like, it'll be tomorrow. It'll be like, Brock Purdy over half a yard, higher than half a yard. That's what it would be for the gimme pick. So fantasyalarm.com/underdog, promo code ALARM, 50% match deposit up to $1,000 in bonus cash plus a little gimme pick. And then let's give them a couple of picks here, Coop, to kind of mix and match and help them parlay it into some bigger money. Where are you going?
You got it. The gimme pick for this game is Brock Purdy, 0.5 yards. Not sure if you mentioned that, but that's a freebie for the Thursday game. So you get that in there. Also throw in this pick from me. Noah Fant, 21.5 receiving yards. I'm going to actually go lower on that. So there's been a trend with this Seahawks team. They've been keeping the 3 wide receivers on the field under the Ryan Grubb era here. They want those guys on the field. What they've been doing is when they face tough pass rush, they actually use Pharaoh Brown for a huge chunk of snaps here. And also, Noah Fant got banged up, and that's why we saw A.J. Barner out there for a little bit. So you got a banged up Noah Fant in a situation where they're going up against Nick Bosa, where we may see Pharaoh Brown come in and take a big chunk of those snaps. I think Noah Fant's going to be pretty far on the back burner here, so I'm willing to go lower on his receiving yards. The reception numbers, 2.5. That's already set pretty low, but yeah, I really don't see Noah Fant popping off this week, Howard.
Okay. All right. I've got a pick from Seattle here as well. Now, you obviously, when you're doing it, where's my let me just go into my where's my gimme pick here?
It's Brock Purdy. It's Brock Purdy, 0.5.
Oh, it's not available to me here because I'm not new.
Oh,
but I'll figure it out. But yeah, okay. So Brock Purdy, use that. Noah Fant, lower than 21.5 receiving yards. I'm going to go with Tyler Lockett. Now, I was kind of wavering back and forth. Do I want to go Tyler Lockett higher than 6 targets? Because he's gone over that in 3 out of his last 4 games. They are featuring him. Or do I want to go with his receiving yards higher than 45.5? I think I'm going to go with the higher than 45.5 receiving yards. San Francisco, as Coop was alluding to earlier, the DVOA numbers, when they break it down by receiver, they rank 30th against the wide receiver 2, giving up approximately 5.5 passes per game to that position for over 70 receiving yards. I think it's like 74.5 receiving yards for that spot. So I think rather than worry about whether or not Geno Smith is going to be targeting him 6 times, take higher 45.5 on the receiving yards there. So lower on Noah Fant, higher on Tyler Lockett, parlay it up there with your Brock Purdy gimme pick for Thursday Night Football, and just ring that cash register, baby. Cha-ching, cha-ching. FantasyAlarm.com/underdog, promo code ALARM. Get it on it right flipping now.
Boom shakalaka.
Back to the chat.
Yes.
Back to the chat. Back to Evan Gittleman, who wants to. What are you doing? Where are you going here?
That wasn't me. That was the producer.
Start one, half point
That
PPR.
was Josh Wagner.
Najee, J-Mo Williams, or Wan'Dale Robinson.
Just one half PPR. I think in a format like this, half PPR, I got to go with Jameson Williams. He's been pretty consistently getting targets, and he's running much higher A-dot routes than Wan'Dale Robinson. Wan'Dale's like death by 1,000 cuts. And man, Najee leading the league in zero-yard runs, Najee Harris is. So, I mean, it's just hard to trust him running up. He's getting the opportunity, just running up against a brick wall. So give me JMO.
Yeah, I'm in on the JMO move here. I would normally turn around and say, well, if Jalen Warren's going to be out and Cordell Patterson's going to be out, then go Najee. But they didn't use Najee like heavy volume. He kept getting that Schlumpkin dude in there, or Blumpkin, whatever his
Aaron
name.
Schlumpkin.
Right? I mean, come on, man. What was that all about? I know it's Halloween and everything, but we don't need the pumpkins here.
We love David Montgomery and we love Gibbs, but also, I mean, the Cowboys are team number 32 in DVOA against the wide receiver 2. And that's because Kalen Carson's, there's no Deron Bland. Kalen Carson's been banged up. We're talking Andrew Booth Jr. out there.
Bland might be back. They were talking. The GM was saying that there was a talk that he could play some limited snaps. I'm like, yeah, give me Jameson Williams against a limited Deron Bland.
What the heck? Limited snaps? I mean, knowing him, he'll have an interception because he has an interception every game. But, I mean, they need him back desperately. They need him back.
Craig wants to know what's really going on with Joe Mixon.
What's going on with Joe Mixon is that they made a big point to make this tackle illegal.
The hip drop tackle, yeah.
The hip drop tackle illegal. And then he got hip drop tackled and there wasn't even a flag. They did retroactively fine the player, but it's like Joe Mixon after the game was like, hey, remember that illegal tackle that I just got hurt on? Well, nobody cares. He took it to Twitter. He's like, nobody even mentioned it. He's like, remember this is a big deal? He's like, I'm out for like weeks now, like crazy to me. But yeah, that's what's going on.
It's a high ankle sprain. It's multi-week.
Yeah. It's because the illegal tackle.
All right, here we go. Mr. Popinski wants to know: start Purdy, Jones, or Caleb this week?
That's where I'm going, Purdy. I think this game could have shootout potential on third. Hopefully, knock on wood. I don't know if we've ever had a back-to-back good Thursday games, but conditions are set.
Conditions are set, and I took the over in that game.
Yes.
Oh, I've said too much.
A vote for over is a vote for fun. I'm gonna make pins.
All right, here we go. Parsh Subramaniam. PPR trade away Geno Wan'Dale Singletary for Eckler Waddle.
No. I don't even need to receive the rest of the team. Keep Wan'Dale Singletary Geno. What are you gonna do with Eckler?
I don't know. What are you going to do with Eckler? I mean, you've got Gibbs, you've got Connor.
Brian Robinson's back. Brian Robinson's fine. Brian Robinson's healthy and they got a mobile QB. Eckler, he's not going to be that guy that gets 100 targets again.
So I was muting my mic as the construction site next door seems to like to start up here. Idiots. Kevin Russell wants to know, would you drop P. Ryan and pick up Tolbert? Yes, 100%.
For sure.
100%.
P. Ryan's useless.
100%. Yeah, P. Ryan is definitely
useless.
Start Kirk Cousins or Trevor Lawrence?
This is where I go Kirk O'Chains, man. I think something might have clicked last week. I'm hoping that's the case.
You like that? You like that?
You like that.
You like that. Is Joe Flacco starting this week? At this point, we don't know.
I don't know. Assume.
How sure are we that Rattler is starting? We're not.
I mean, Derek Carr's on IR, right? So
did they put him officially on IR? I know they said it was a multi-week injury, but they
no, he didn't go on IR yet.
Yeah, and I haven't heard them announce the official starter. I just know that there was a beat writer who was speculating that they could go with Spencer Rattler. I just think Rattler's a better option if you're looking for the future of the Saints.
Exactly. And the guy that you should keep an eye out for, the beat writer over there that I trust the most is Nick Underhill. He wants Spencer Rattler to start, but he has not announced it. But keep an eye on Nick Underhill. I he's usually pretty reliable with information.
Skinny McKinney, where are you, man? Where are you? I know you're doing like some hurricane relief charity work, and that's an amazing thing, but we also need to know what's going on with your Saints. So chime in, buddy.
Yeah,
Don't make
what's
me
the deal,
text you in the
dog?
middle of a show.
What's the deal, dog?
Could you trade Mike Evans or Chris Godwin? Because he's got them both. I would definitely trade one of them.
Yeah. Honestly, if it's full PPR, I lean Godwin. If it's half PPR, I lean Evans. It's kind of as simple as that for me. They're just different ADOTs, different touchdown potential. Chris Godwin in full PPR and half PPR is wide receiver 6, but there's no question he's better in PPR than he is in half, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Is Tyreek still worth starting? Hasn't done much without Tua.
Let me add on that guy loading just real quick. If you're going to trade Mike Evans, do it now before he faces Marshawn Lattimore this week. And if you're going to trade Chris Godwin, wait until after this week, because Mike Evans has historically been either kicked out of the game or he just has a very hard time against Marshawn
I
Lattimore.
love watching those two fight.
It's wild. It's like Cortland Finnegan and Andre Johnson all over again. But he does get under Evans' skin. Evans had very rarely ever cracked 50 yards against the Saints. It's true.
All right, back to Tyreek. What are you doing with him?
Not worth starting. He's on bye week this week, so you can't start him now. But again, at a certain point we draw the line. But at this stage, I tweeted out and I was like, thank goodness Tyreek Hill's on bye, so I don't have to actually click the button to start Darnell Mooney over him this week, which is what I probably would have done. It's just nuts.
All right, Charlene Erickson's in here. Bigsby over Mostert in a PPR redraft, or she also throws in Javonte Williams in there as well. So Bigsby over Mostert or Javonte?
This has got to be a rest of season question.
It's got to be a rest of season question because Mostert's on a bye.
Yeah, and the answer is I would rather have Mostert. Devon Achane, yet to see him stay healthy for a period. If you're going to drop anybody, I might drop Javonte Williams, honestly.
Whoa, hey now.
I know. I believe too, but it's like
Mile High Luke says, need to sit one. Deontay, Josh Downs, Michael Pittman. Well, it's one of your Colts.
Right. And it's probably Downs. I mean, because again, you're chasing targets, but they're very low ADOT targets. Yeah. And he's still only playing.
He says that Michael Pittman's about to get that L'Jarius Sneed treatment this week.
Yeah, but do you have the stones, Luke, to start Josh Downs over Pittman? It's pretty bold.
I don't know if you necessarily need stones. Maybe some really strong botanical extraction.
Then you can go anywhere.
You could go anywhere. D-Woo wants to know, Daniels or Burrow? Ooh, Cincinnati going up against the Giants.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels going up against the Ravens, both coming off of great performances.
I'm confused by the Giants-Bengals line, by the way. I get the over-under, but Bengals only 3.5-point favorites? Yeah. What world are we in here?
That is one of those worlds where you legit have to sit there and wonder, why in the world is the spread looking like that when you've got, now you've got the Bengals who are coming off of back-to-back strong performances from Joe Burrow, and we're starting to see their passing game gel. Their defense has been absolute trash. Why are they only a 3-point favorite over the Giants? I tell you, I don't know.
I'm still going Daniels though, because I have to play for keeps. I'm going big. He's running the ball. He's playing like crazy. Burrow threw 5 touchdowns, but to compete with mobile quarterbacks, you got to throw 303 touchdowns, and it's just hard to pencil anybody in for that every week. So I'm going Daniels.
All right, we got about 10 minutes to go here, Coop. So I know we both have an allergy to the two words rapid fire, but we're gonna try it here. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Today, I think I got to figure it out.
All right. Well, then I'm just going to read the questions. You're going to give the answers, and we're going to get through as many of these as we possibly can and go. Ethan Batterman wants to know, he's got a tough group, 2 running backs and 2 flex, half-point PPR, Dowdle, Brown, Irving, Tank, Sermon, if no JT, Odunze, McConkey, Jacoby.
We couldn't start on an easier one for rapid fire. I'm going Dowdle, McConkey, Jacoby, definitely. And then I would
Tank.
go Tank. Good.
Yep, 100%. Jack Senzen, what's up, brother? Shakir, Sutton, Tolbert, or Wicks, PPR flex.
Even as I'm going back to Wicks. He got the targets. I think he can catch
Beautiful.
a
There you
football.
go. See, Wicks, that's rapid fire. Here we go. Start 2 for Cesar Castillo, Evans, Flowers, Higgins.
Flowers and Higgins.
Flowers and Higgins. Ethan Batterman says full point PPR, Sermon, Kirk, Wicks, Shakir.
Kirk has been reliable.
Kirk has been reliable. The GG Baby 99 again. Put those Twitch glasses on. Keep Mark Andrews or keep Freiermuth. Who's better? Keep Freiermuth.
Freiermuth. If he didn't fumble last week, we would have looked at it and said it's fine.
Yep. If Tyrone Tracy starts again, would you start him over Najee or Dobbins?
I would start. Yes. I would start him over. I would start him over Najee. Maybe not Dobbins.
All right. Beautiful. Jedi Avenger 1738. Tucker Kraft or Sam Laporta?
Laporta. Shootout. Kraft. Dobbs is back.
Jared Reeves says need 3. Dowdle, Deontay Johnson, Downs, Sutton, Singletary, Tolbert.
Deontay Johnson, Downs, and Dowdle.
Bucky Ford. Bucky or Ford. What's up, Greg?
Yeah. Still Ford.
Mile High Luke, would you start Chase Brown with Moss out over Najee? Yes, if Moss is out.
Yes, if Moss is out, then yes. Otherwise, go Najee.
All right. Rod Elliott, what's in the box?
What's in the box?
No, I missed that too. I do. Look for Tucker Kraft. Oh, that's somebody talking to somebody else. Somebody saying something about something. This is probably a do we believe in Radler question, but Carr was just dropped in my Dynasty Superflex. Is he worth some fab money? I've got Daniels and Williams.
Yeah. Dynasty Superflex, of course.
Yes, 100%.
A lot
100%.
of fab.
Sean says, would you guys say Hunter Henry is a good fill-in for Kelsey this week? Yeah. I think
it's fine.
I mean, it depends on who else is out there. Like if a Freiermuth is out there, then I'd rather use Freiermuth. But
right. But you're giving yourself a shot at upside.
Yes. Give yourself a shot of upside. A shot at upside. GG Baby again. Mostert or Downs?
Mostert's on
PPR.
Mostert's on bye week.
Oh, yeah. Mostert's on.
So if it's a rest of season question, then keep the running back.
Keep
too valuable.
Yeah. Beautiful. Kyler or Kirky?
Kyler. Kyler rocks.
Wandell or Amari?
Wandell and PPR. Amari's been brutal.
Looking for more questions. Although Jack Senzen does make a good point when he says, smash that like button. Please.
Yeah. A quick shout out to Herms. Always good to see.
Don't make me feel all like thirsty and shit here, asking you guys, begging you for likes for crying out loud. But crying out loud.
We're hitting the questions.
And Dunn says, 2 in FFPC, Javante, Chase Brown, Mike Wilson, Evan Engram. Well, we need health for all, Engram, 2 of these.
It's a tight end premium. So, but even then, I'm not starting Engram first game back. I go Javante and Michael Wilson. Well, unless Zach Moss is out, and then it's Chase Brown and Javante.
Yes, there you go. You got to see if Zach Moss is out, and sure. Let's see, because of CeeDee Lamb, Dallas is. There's a lot of commentary. I like the fact that you guys are all chatting with each other. I definitely do.
Yeah.
Ethan Batterman says Indy or Houston defense.
Houston against the Patriots.
Yeah. Y'all trading for Bijan right now? That's what Derek wants to know.
Can't do it, Derek. Is that Weapon X, Derek?
I just need Zach Robinson to commit to the run. Why doesn't Raheem Morris go and boom, run the ball more?
Yeah, Bijan's banged up, so I mean, you might be buying. He was getting 80-90% of the snaps early on, so it might be if you can buy low, I would.
This is a nice little smash spot for him this week, right? Atlanta going up against Carolina.
He's just got the shoulder. He got the shoulder and the hamstring now.
Still,
he's got the hamstring. Well, the shoulder doesn't go away in 1 week.
What's his practice schedule?
Pull the next question. We got to rock.
Don't tell me what to do. You're not the boss of me.
Yeah. Well, on the Tuesday show, I'm the host. On
If
Wednesday
Taylor is
show,
out, start
on the
Sermon
Wednesday
over
show, you're the host.
Moss. If Moss is playing, I'm starting Moss over Sermon. Sermon's
Yes.
sharing carries with Tyler Goodson.
Tyler Goodson, yep.
All right. Ann wants to know: need a flex, Dobbins, Mixon, JSN, and Shakir. Well, I don't think Mixon's playing this week.
Yeah.
I'd probably go with Dobbins.
Yep, Dobbins.
I offered Monty and Deontay for Bijan a few weeks ago. It got declined. Now the guy is asking for the same trade. David Montgomery and Deontay Johnson for Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, well, because Deontay was terrible a few weeks ago, but now he looks pretty good. So I think I just keep Monty and Deontay.
There you go. There you go. FFPC, Kyler or Fields?
Kyler.
PPR, Slayton or
I mean, obviously Slayton if Malik Neighbors is out, but otherwise I go Pierce.
Ferguson or McBride?
McBride leads the league in routes run and target share.
Start one in FFPC, Shaheed, Wicks, Hopkins, Judy.
I'm going Hopkins coming out of the bye. I'm hoping he's healthy.
All right. Got Kelsey on a bye. Andrews and Likely on the bench. Can also pick up Hurst. Thought I was going to be drafting Kelsey and Andrews, and here we are. Yeah, well, Kelsey's on a bye. I'm starting Isaiah Likely.
Start Likely, yep.
Yes, indeedy. Tank Dell is a must start. I can't double tight ends anymore. So Kincaid or Ferguson? Which one?
Ferguson with Brandon Cooks out. He's been as solid as rock solid as it gets.
Happy Wednesday. Thank you, Brian. Need advice. Half point PPR, Tyrone Tracy or Jerome Ford?
If Singletary's out, I'm going Tracy.
All right. What do we got here? Herm says Secrets is a whole vibe, but not in a good way. Take it from a Maryland native. I told you. I told you.
We're that far back in the chat.
Dude, what are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? Rich Flacco or Dan?
Howard, you talked too much about the Patriots early in the show. I think
that's my bad. I'm sorry, folks. My bad. Rich Flacco or Danny Dimes?
Danny Dimes. He's mobile.
There you go. Going through it. Rate the trade. Chuba for Devonta Smith. If you got Devonta Smith for Chuba, you're doing well.
Yep.
No doubt. What I got here, working my way through a Kona mix. Oh, that's what he's drinking there. A little Kona mix pack.
Nice.
I like the longboard. I'm not gonna lie. I hate IPAs. I hate IPAs.
Big Wave is a good summer beer. Summer's over here.
Father-in-law met a waitress, exchange student studying to be a doctor. They're always studying to be a doctor, aren't they? Aren't they?
Rapid fire.
Let's trade Ayuk for CMC and Dell?
Yes. Yeah, I would actually.
All right. Sexy Jerry says, I got 0 picks this year and only first next year. My top team is 3 and 4 in league. I was offered 2 firsts, a second, and Devontae Adams and Will Levis for CJ Stroud. Do I do it?
Just keep CJ Stroud. In Superflex, obviously, keep CJ Stroud. He's too valuable.
All right.
You need 3 firsts, and it looks like you've been offered a bunch of junk.
I have JT and Sermon. Hunt on a bye. Do I play Sermon or Bucky Irving this week? Oh, yep. Go ahead. Brad McCoy. Where are we going? I like Tank Dell.
Yeah. Oh, no. It's Tracy or it's Tank Bigsby.
Oh,
drop Sermon.
Right?
Yes.
Oh,
drop Sermon for Tank Bigsby and start Tank Bigsby.
Yes. Agreed. Here we go. I got offered Mason and Dak for Shaheed and Josh Allen. Do I take this as a CMC owner?
Yes, absolutely.
There you go.
Josh Allen's been just okay.
Kyler or Daniel Jones this week?
Kyler.
Start 2. Marvin Harrison Jr., DK Metcalf, and Chris Godwin.
I think you got to bench Marvin and go DK and Godwin.
12-man PPR, Lamar, Gibbs, Kenneth Walker, blah, blah, blah. Any changes? No.
Those guys are all incredible.
Trade Godwin and Evans. Yep, we're on that. We've already said that. Asked and answered. Also have Breece Hall, benched him versus the Vikings. I'm tempted to do it again, but my other option is Monty versus Dallas.
Monty versus Dallas is amazing.
Monty versus Dallas is definitely the way I'm going here.
Fantastic.
It hurts me to say it, but that is definitely the way to go. Stevenson, Chase Brown, or Rashad White this week?
Stevenson looked good. Go Stevenson.
Yeah. Drop Sermon for Mostert. I've got JT. I'm okay with that.
Do it. As long as Sherman would be on your bench this week. Like, as long as you have a running back to start this week, then do that.
Yes.
If JT's out. Because Mostert's on
Start 3. Godwin, London, Kirk, Downs, Dobbs.
I'm sorry, Godwin, London, and Downs.
Flex spot, Brees Hall, Gibbs, and Tank Dell. Pick 5 out of these. Gibbs, Bijan, London, Thomas,
Ayuk.
And Ayuk. Boom. There it is. Caleb, Fields, or Geno this week? Kind of like Geno.
Yeah, Geno's been awesome. And he's due for some touchdowns.
What's up, fellas? 1 and 4. Need a shake up. The trade helper hurt my team. Traded away Tank, Brees, and Bigsby for Gibbs and Jaden Reed. It's all right.
If you have enough guys to start, then I love consolidating. You got the better players.
Start. Here we go. All right. You know what? Rather than just flash them on the screen, you ready, Coop? Here you go. Odunze or Wan'Dale Robinson?
Wan'Dale.
Wan'Dale or Keon Coleman?
Wan'Dale.
Wan'Dale or Romeo Dobbs?
Wan'Dale.
There you go, John R. That's the answer. Wan'Dale. Start 2 of these running backs. Henry, Brees, Jacobs, Demont.
Henry and Dave Montgomery.
Yes, indeedy. Lover Hurts.
Hurts.
Zach Moss if he plays, or Spears?
Moss.
Would you trade Pittman for Kyle Pitts? Got offered Pittman for Kyle Pitts.
Who's your other tight end, Jared? Hit us in the Discord.
This one's a really long one here. I'm in a 10 TPBR. We go. There's too much to read through here. Sorry,
go to the Discord.
Otten or Ingram?
If you got a long one, and if you need a screenshot or whatever, the Discord will answer and put the screenshots in there. Otten, even if Ingram's active.
Otten, all right. Dobbs, Coleman, or Odunze or Wan'Dale. It's the same one there. So we're on the Wan'Dale here. Should I trade Drake May for Hubbard? I'm in a QQB super flex, and the guy needs a second QB. You're not because Hubbard's not going to hold the job.
That's true. Yeah, Hubbard. Yeah, he's expiring asset.
Trade DJ Moore for K9.
I would. Kenneth Walker rocks.
There you go. Kirk, Caleb, or Darnold? Darnold, or rest of season?
Rest of season, Kirk.
Thanks, Shmuley. Caleb or Stroud?
Stroud. Yeah.
Geno or Love?
Love.
And there we go.
Oh, we did it.
Boom. We only ran a few minutes extra. It's never happening again, people. Come to the Discord. Come over to fantasyalarm.com. If you guys don't subscribe, this QR code right here. Boop, 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 boop. fantasyalarm.com/all-pro. Sign up for the monthly. Sign up for the annual. Take it for a 7-day free trial. Win some money with us for free this weekend, and it'll just pay for that subscription. In the meantime, we thank everybody for joining us. Please, again, hit that like button on the old YouTube page. For Andrew Cooper, I'm Howard.